Hello everyone. Today I'm in conversation with Tiril, a student from Norway, and she took part in the virtual exchange on queer theory that we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks. Before we get started, Tiril, please introduce yourself to us, to our listeners.
Yeah, my name is Tiril, and I am a bachelor student at Gender Studies in the university in Bergen. And yeah, I took the course Queer Theory last year.
Why did you want to do that, Tiril? What was it that inspired you to enroll in that particular course?
I think there were a lot of things because the course I took it as an extra course because first of all, Kari, my professor that you have already talked with,
Yes.
she launched it for some of us and was very engaged or happy about it and
She's
really wanted,
passionate about it,
yeah,
shall we
passionate.
say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
passionate about it. And she's in general very passionate. So I was kind of, yeah, I really wanted to do that. And also, of course, because of the situation in Florida at the time and then now where you don't really they couldn't have the course if it wasn't a virtual exchange with us. So I thought, okay, this is a really important opportunity and kind of a little bit of that solidarity feeling, but also I feel like gender studies, it's important to not just keep it in this like academic bubble, but to use it in practice and
Ah.
especially talk with others so that you have that, you know what you're talking about. I feel like that's important in gender studies to avoid that you talk like past each other.
Yeah,
Um,
too much theory. You wanted it to be on a more practical level as well. And I'm hearing you wanted to show solidarity to those participants or people in Florida who were, yes, being restricted or in a very
Mhm.
conservative environment.
Yeah, and I mean, not in a it's not the same climate in Norway at all. So that was kind of something we realized when we met them. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to be, yeah, to contribute to the course. But of course, I really wanted to hear what they were thinking about everything and exchange experiences. And yeah,
You wanted to hear a different perspective. So
yeah.
how were you feeling at the start of the course? Were you feeling nervous or shy, or did you just feel like getting straight into it? What was the initial impact?
I think like the initial impact when we met them, or
How
yeah.
you felt before, and then you can tell me how it was
Okay.
when you first met them.
So I think before I was very interested in how it was for them in just like everyday life. And I couldn't really picture what we were gonna do because I've never had a virtual exchange and
Right.
I hadn't really heard about it. So I was kind of nervous about how it would be communicating
Yes.
them and how like if it would be, I know my experience with Americans are that they're often more outroverted, yeah,
Extroverted.
extroverted. I mean extroverted,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
then in Norwegian we tend to be more quiet. So I was like, okay, is this gonna be like this when we have the course? Yeah.
And what was the reality when you first started? What was the impact when you met them? Were they extroverted compared to yourself
Uh,
and other Norwegian students?
yes, I think it was kind of almost like a curated meeting because it was very, we just turned on the screens and then we were met with these very extroverted and loud Americans that had a lot of personal experience
Right,
to share. And I think that was kind of the biggest difference was the approach to the course and to the
right.
texts. And that was very interesting because because they weren't gender students, they were another degree. I think it was in media. Uh,
Kari said they were communication
yeah,
students,
yeah,
and you, from the Norwegian perspective, were more theory of gender studies.
yes,
So yeah, there was that difference clearly.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think if we are used to having a lot of we read a lot on our own and kind of close reading, and I think also in lectures we tend to sit back in like the bar to raise your hand and say something is quite high because you think, okay, if I'm going to say something, I have to really think it through. It has to be something really clever. And then we met the Americans, and they were just like sharing their opinions, not necessarily always about the texts, but just what they were thinking and
Yeah.
their take on things. And that was kind of for us like, oh, okay.
Confronting, like, woo.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
but I think we had a lot to learn also because when you do have an virtual exchange, you have to contribute and not just sit back and listen and kind of, yes,
Well,
and
the point is, isn't it, that you collaborate and you get
yeah,
something from them and they get something from you, because it's more peer-to-peer learning, it's not top
hmm,
down.
yes.
Do you think that over the course of the exchange, that kind of learning and collaboration happened then?
Yes, it was something that the students in Bergen, talked a lot about among ourselves, that we have to be a little tougher and uh,
Louder, baby.
yeah, yeah, because I think it was such a big contrast sometimes of sitting in class, and then after lecture, we had these groups on our own. Um, and when we had those groups, it was kind of, we would sit quiet and just listen, and they would share. And then we were like, but why are we doing this? We don't need to, when we talk, we have to contribute, we have to give them something as well. And even though we're not used to maybe sharing personal stuff, we still have to just, say what we think, even though we haven't read the whole text or, think that we don't understand the text. We
Mm,
have to say what we think so that we can make something together.
right. And do you
Yeah.
think that happened? What do you think on a personal level? I'm hearing that there were challenges in terms of what you were studying. I'm hearing there are challenges of personal experience versus more theoretical. And also, you haven't mentioned, of course, with the Americans, English is their first language, so they're much more
Mm.
comfortable. And although your English is very, very good, you're not a native speaker. So I'm assuming that kind of would contribute to making people shy. So how did these challenges evolve? How did you overcome them during the course, or did you?
I think for me personally, I had to like, because one thought that struck me was, okay, for them it was kind of, almost a statement to take the course because of the situation, and for us it was like just a course. So we had such, yeah, big differences just coming in, and I had to think. I think I learned a lot from them just saying what they were thinking. And then I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do as well. And I,
You made that decision, right? I'm
yeah,
just going to say what I think.
yeah, that was kind of I have to give them what they give me and just share what I think. Because I think that was what I gradually understood, that the course was like the literature, what we read wasn't maybe necessarily the most important thing. I had to like change my opinion on what was really the main, or the, yeah, meaning with the course, like the
Sure.
virtual aspects and the collaboration.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm hearing you had to be mentally flexible then and kind of
yeah,
adapt to what was going on in real
mm,
time, what was going on, and you changed your thinking as you went through the exchange?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds like quite a light bulb moment, actually.
yeah, yeah. I think so. To realize, yeah, what could come out of that, just letting yourself go a little
Yeah.
bit more. Uh, yeah, and not maybe it was just a little harder to also like let go of the texts we were reading, and because I'm used to yeah, just going very close with the
Yes,
text.
sticking to the text and maybe
Yeah.
not deviating too much.
Mm, mm.
You had to make space to hear different perspectives, didn't you?
Yeah, 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 definitely. And also there was a lot of personal or experiences that was shared, and that wasn't necessarily something that I was like, okay, um, like I had to go into myself and be like, okay, why is that important? Or not why is that important, but that was just such a different, yeah, way of understanding the
Right.
text. But then again, I think it's very important, because where would gender studies and queer theory be without, say, activism and speaking up and sharing experiences? So that was also something that I thought a lot about.
Ah. Would you repeat the experience?
Yeah, I think just that I thought a lot about, okay, how important is like activism important for academia and gender studies? I think for me, I was maybe a little bit skeptic about the place, or like why we needed it. That was something I discussed a lot and also wrote about when we
Ah,
in my exam that we have had. And I think I just had to kind of confront myself with, it is important because it's about how we gender studies is about how we understand ourselves, like the society, each other, and then of course we have to, it can't just stay at the university, it has to be
mm,
a part of people's life and the public sphere, and we have to kind of
right.
not take it down but take it out.
Take it beyond the walls of academia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
mm,
I agree with that statement as well. Was that your main takeaway from the experience, or do you what else did you take away from this experience?
yeah, I think that was kind of my main, but also just the importance of, okay, if you're working on this in a global scale, you have to contribute and you have to say what you think, because I would often take myself in when I listened to the Americans that I was thinking about maybe something else, or I was thinking about something that I wanted to talk about and then I didn't say it. And that's
Ah,
very stupid, because that was the point of the like the
exercise.
exchange
Yeah,
and
yeah,
experience, and kind of just, okay, but take your place and speak up, because that's what's the reason you're there, to
yeah.
like, talk together and share those thoughts. And yeah, and to I learned a lot from the Americans, and about yeah, to speak up and just sharing thoughts.
What advice would you give to other students thinking about taking a virtual exchange, or this virtual exchange?
Take your place and participate in what's going on kind of from the start, to get the most out of the experience, and think that you're contributing to something as well, and that it's really important to share your voice and your perspectives. Also because a lot of the literature we read was American, or written from an American standpoint. So I mean, we can't like let things get lost in translation. So you have to kind of, yeah, continue to speak, so that we know what we're talking about, and that we are understanding the same things, or at least or understand that we understand it differently. Yeah. I think so. My tip is just to be a part of it and share as much as you can. Not necessarily personal stuff, but just your uh, take or opinion on things. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tiril, for your time and sharing that experience. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.